What if I told you that the most powerful pest control in your garden isn't a spray, it isn't a trap, and it definitely doesn't come in a plastic bottle? It grows right in the ground, and some of it you can even eat for dinner. Welcome back. Today we're talking about companion planting, specifically 10 plants you can grow right now that will naturally push pests away from the crops you care about most. No chemicals, no fuss, just smart planting. Stay until the end because I'm also going to give you a simple layout guide for how to actually position these plants in your beds so you get the maximum protection effect. Let's get into it. Before we get into the list, a quick 60 seconds on how this actually works. Because companion planting isn't magic. There's real science behind it, and once you understand the mechanism, you'll be a much better gardener for it. Plants communicate through scent. When pests, aphids, whitefly, beetles, go looking for a meal, they're guided by the smell of their favorite host plant. Some companion plants work by masking that scent, essentially jamming the pest's GPS. Others release compounds from their roots that repel nematodes or fungus in the soil. And others do the opposite. They attract beneficial insects like lacewings, hoverflies, and parasitic wasps, which are the natural predators of common garden pests. Think of it as building a whole ecosystem in your garden rather than just a row of vegetables. The more diverse you're planting, the more stable and resilient that ecosystem becomes. Okay, list time. Let's start with the most famous one. Plant number 1, Marigold. Repels, nematodes, aphids, whitefly, tomato hornworm. Marigolds are the undisputed queen of companion planting, and for good reason. Their roots release a compound called alpha-terthional, which is toxic to root knot nematodes in the soil. These are microscopic worms that destroy crops like tomatoes, peppers, and carrots from below ground. You literally cannot see the damage until it's too late, but marigolds stop them before they start. Above ground, their strong scent confuses and deters aphids and whitefly. Plant them densely around the perimeter of your beds or interspersed between rows of tomatoes and peppers. The French dwarf varieties, Tagetes patula, are the most researched and most effective. Plant early, keep them in full sun, and deadhead regularly so they keep flowering all season long. Plant number 2, Basil. Repels, aphids, thrips, mosquitoes, spider mites. Basil and tomatoes are kitchen soulmates, and it turns out they're garden soulmates too. The volatile oils in basil, particularly eugenol and linalool, actively repel thrips and aphids. Some studies suggest they also improve the flavor of nearby tomatoes, though the science on that is still debated. What's not debated, basil also draws in pollinators when it flowers. Let a few plants go to flower intentionally. Place basil 12 to 18 inches from your tomatoes, close enough to share the scent environment, far enough that neither plant competes for root space. Avoid planting it near sage or rosemary, which can suppress its growth. Plant number 3, Lavender. Repels, moths, fleas, flies, aphids. Lavender is one of the most multifunctional companion plants you can grow. Its scent is intoxicating to bees and butterflies, but moths, flies, and aphids hate it. Plant it near brassicas like cabbage and broccoli, where cabbage moth and cabbage white butterfly are constant threats. Lavender is also drought-tolerant and perennial, meaning once it's in, it keeps working for you year after year with very little maintenance. It prefers well-drained, slightly alkaline soil and full sun. Keep it at the edges of your beds rather than mixed in with heavy, nitrogen-hungry crops. Plant number 4, Nesttorium. Strategy: trap crop. Attracts aphids away from your vegetables. Nasturtiums are different from the others on this list. They work as a trap crop. Instead of repelling pests, they attract them. Aphids are absolutely obsessed with nasturtiums. By planting them near your valuable crops, you're offering pests a decoy. They swarm the nasturtiums, leaving your courgettes and beans alone. And here's the beautiful part. That aphid colony on your nasturtiums attracts ladybirds and lacewings, which then spread out and eat aphids everywhere else in the garden. It's a self-regulating system. Let your nasturtiums get infested. Resist the urge to spray them. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Plant number 5, dill. Attracts hoverflies, lacewings, parasitic wasps. Dill is a powerhouse for attracting beneficial insects. Its flat-topped flower clusters, called umbels, are landing pads for hoverflies, whose larvae eat hundreds of aphids each. Parasitic wasps also flock to dill, and those wasps lay eggs inside caterpillars and aphids, killing them from the inside out. Important note, don't plant dill right next to fennel. They'll cross-pollinate, and you'll lose the value of both. Also keep it away from mature carrots. Young dill is fine near carrots, but once it matures and flowers, it can inhibit carrot growth. Plant it near brassicas, tomatoes, and cucumbers instead. Plant number 6, chives. Repels, aphids, carrot fly, Japanese beetle. Chives belong to the allium family, which means they share that pungent, sulfur-based chemistry that makes onions and garlic so powerful. That sulfur scent confuses and deters aphids and carrot fly. Plant them in rows alongside carrots to mask the scent that the carrot fly uses to find its host. Chives are also excellent near roses. They reduce black spot and help repel aphids without any spraying. They're incredibly low maintenance, come back every year, and their purple flowers bring in pollinators. If you're only planting one thing from this list, make it marigolds. But if you're planting 2, make the second one chives. Plant number 7, mint. Repels, aphids, ants, flea beetles, cabbage moths. Here's the caveat with mint, and I need you to hear this clearly. Grow it in containers. Mint is incredibly invasive. If you plant it directly in your bed, it will take over within 2 seasons. But its pest-repelling properties are very real. The menthol and menthone compounds in mint leaves drive aphids, ants, flea beetles, and cabbage moths away. The solution? Grow mint in a pot, then sink the pot into the ground next to your target plants. The roots stay contained, but the leaves and scent do their job. Crush a few leaves occasionally. The more scent in the air, the better it works. Plant number 8, petunias. Repels, aphids, tomato hornworm, asparagus beetles, leafhoppers. Petunias often get overlooked in the companion planting conversation because people see them as purely decorative. But they're genuinely one of the most effective repellent plants you can grow. They contain a sticky chemical on their stems that physically traps small insects like aphids and leafhoppers before they can move on to your vegetables. Plant them near beans, tomatoes, peppers, and asparagus. They work beautifully as border plants. Lining the edges of your beds with petunias creates a scent and physical barrier that many pests won't cross. They bloom continuously from spring right through to first frost, so they're working the whole season. Plant number 9, borage, 11:30 to 12:30. Repels, tomato hornworm. Attracts bees and predatory insects. Borage is one of those plants that experienced gardeners swear by, but beginners have never heard of. It's a tall, sprawling herb with striking blue, star-shaped flowers, and it is an absolute magnet for bees, especially bumblebees. More bees means better pollination for your entire garden. Borage also deters tomato hornworm, one of the most destructive caterpillars in the vegetable garden. Plant it near tomatoes, squash, and strawberries. It self-seeds freely, so once you plant it once, it often comes back on its own. A word of warning, it gets big, up to 90 centimeters tall, so give it space and plant it where it won't shade out smaller companions. Plant number 10, catnip. Repels, aphids, Japanese beetle, squash bugs, ants, weevils. Last on the list, but genuinely one of the most powerful, catnip. Research from Iowa State University found that nipetolactone, the compound in catnip, is actually more effective at repelling mosquitoes than DEET in some conditions. In the garden, it also deters aphids, squash bugs, ants, flea beetles, and weevils. Like mint, catnip can spread aggressively, so either grow it in a container or deadhead it before it sets seed. Plant it around the border of your vegetable beds or near squash, which is particularly vulnerable to squash bugs in summer. And yes, if you have a cat, they will absolutely find it. Grow extra. Now you've got the list, but where you put them matters just as much as which ones you choose. Here are 5 practical layout principles. 1. Borders first. Put repellent plants, marigolds, lavender, petunias, chives, around the outer edges of your beds. They form a perimeter barrier pests have to cross before they even reach your crops. 2. Interplant in rows. Don't clump all your companions in one corner. Alternate them throughout your vegetable rows. 1 basil plant every 45 centimeters between your tomatoes. The scent needs to be distributed throughout the bed. 3. Use trap crops deliberately. Plant nasturtiums in a cluster 30 to 60 centimeters away from your main beds, slightly upwind if you can manage it. You want the aphids to find them first, before they drift toward your vegetables. 4. Layer by height. Taller companions like borage and dill go at the north end of your bed so they don't shade out shorter plants. Patunias and marigolds at the south-facing edge stay low and get maximum sun. 5. Think in seasons. Marigolds, basil, and nasturtiums are annuals. Plant fresh each year. Lavender, chives, and catnip are perennials. Plan your permanent perennial companions first, then fill in annuals around them each spring. And that's your 10. Marigolds, basil, lavender, nasturtium, dill, chives, mint, petunias, borage, and catnip. Each one doing something specific, repelling, attracting, trapping, or disrupting, so your garden builds its own natural defense system over time. The real magic of companion planting is that it compounds. Year 1, you're experimenting. Year 2, you start to see the patterns. Fewer aphids here, more bees there. Year 3, your garden feels like it's running itself. That's the goal. If you found this useful, subscribe. I post new gardening videos every week. Drop a comment below and tell me which companion plant you're going to try first, because I genuinely read every single one. I've put a free companion planting chart in the description. It shows exactly which plants pair best with which vegetables. Grab that before you start planning your season. I'll see you in the next one. Happy growing!